for the lovers holding hands in the car. This is for the lovers, no matter where.
Like, first of all, when you don't even know someone, how can you have lust over them? You understand what I'm talking about? So that goes in. No, you cannot have feelings for someone that you really don't know. Like, that's a really big problem. And for you to be in a relationship, to have faith, and first of all, for you to be in a relationship, you have to be in love. Like, that is not nothing 1, 2, 3 for fast people, because I have a case of many fast people that I just don't know, and it's just horrible. So when you're in a relationship, you have to have a special bond of love that has companionship, that has you being faithful to that person, that has you being trusted. Because first of all, when you don't have trust, or when you have an off feeling, like automatically you're gonna have to let it off, no matter what you're going through in your mind, what you're going through in your life. Just call it off, just let it off, and just on to the next one. And just honestly, just stay safe. Just, you can stay active, whatever you do, but just always use protection and never let your guard down. Never let your guard down. Because you know what? As this,
I just want to cut you off.
Okay,
Just for a second.
yeah.
Give me a second, because I think that we're coming from a judgment-free space.
Yeah.
And that's
unique to
very
you.
judgmental. That's unique to you, but everybody's experience is different. Everybody's upbringing is different. Everybody's relationship is different. Everybody's circumstance is different. So, you know, it's universal precaution is something that everybody should take, but you never know where somebody's at. So we can't judge, because comments like that will make people feel go into their shells and excluded or whatever. So
no, I don't
think
want
about,
that.
Yeah, you don't want
I just
that.
don't want. What I don't want is this community being affected more and more every day. Like, it is really
But
disgusting.
it's a reality in a lot of communities, not just the LGBT community, straight community, communities of color. It's a big impact. HIV is impacting on a cyclical level, so huge. So I think that really just sitting back and really treating everybody with a case-by-case basis, because you never know what's going on with everybody. Okay?
So I'm saying that we need more counseling and psychiatrists in New York City.
That's good. Mental health is very big.
No. Hey. Don't apologize, because I love you. You're eager, and I love how you go through it. But everybody's situation is unique to them, and when you say lust, everybody can't determine what's lust, because what's lust to you might be different than what's love and lust to me. And it kind of goes back maybe to the way we was raised. The way that my mom invested love in me is maybe different from the way that you were taught love, you know? So we can't kind of be judgmental and say, well, because you love this person, you can't do that. You have to only can speak from your experiences and your hopes and aspirations for like the
I'm about to
prevention.
jump the gun, but like,
No, because you're very passionate about it. That's a good
Passion
thing.
is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a
But
good thing, but you just have
HIV happens so
to.
many
Sometimes
different
the way we speak about things, we can make people closed up, you know. So we can't be really judgmental. We have to come from a place of love and understanding. So,
Because somebody, for instance, may not love themselves enough, and they put a syringe in there and pull, and you know what I'm saying, pull up, and you can get affected that way too. There's so many different ways of getting infected. So just really having an open mind and thinking about what, you know, to think about everybody as an individual in that sense. Go ahead, Jalissa.
I just wanted to, what's your name again? Bubbles, right?
yes.
I wanted to thank you for sharing. I think that what's coming across is the urgency and the passion within which
Like, my
you're
feelings is
conveying.
there,
Yes,
and to see
absolutely.
this
And
is
we can definitely feel that. And I think we all in the room have a similar sense of urgency around what the topic is and HIV transmission in general. I don't want us to kind of walk away with the fact that it's easy. It's not an easy task to just leave someone. Like, we think, oh, you know, I can just get up and move, or I can just get up and walk out of someone's, whatever relationship. You know, there's so many different reasons why people stay in relationships that may not be ideal for them, whether it's financial reasons, whether it's just comfort, whether it's that's that person's family and support. And, you know, getting up and moving across the world is not feasible for someone. I mean, I'll share this very brief story. I'm actually in New York City today because my mother, the only way that she could get away out of an abusive relationship with my father was to leave Dominican Republic when we were children. And this is why we ended up here today. My mom came here illegally and stayed here for 5 years until she could, you know, get a green card, etc., and then go back and get us. So just leaving someone and then leaving a situation, I mean, to this day, she's one of my idols because that takes a lot of guts to do that. And we could only aspire to be able to do that, for me. So I want us to recognize the hardship that it is to leave a relationship that may not be optimal. At the same time, I think sometimes what we need to do is kind of, what Dominique was talking about earlier, is kind of have a dialogue between you and your partner about what love looks like. Because I think what we're coming into it, we're defining love in our minds, based on our experiences, based on our interactions with family, with caregivers, with ourselves, with the world, and everyone's experience is different. So we're experiencing love through our lenses. So we're not having that dialogue and say, what does love look like for you? What does love look like for me? And then how do we come to a middle ground? And how do we, based on that conversation, create something together that is a loving relationship? So,
So all I can say is that besides praying for myself, what I can do is just pray for everybody in the LGBTQ community, for us to find a solution, find more medication more medication, as in cures for people who are HIV infected, to avoid that in our population, in our LGBTQ.
but absolutely, it's not just affecting LGBTQ communities; it's affecting everyone,
Right.
both heterosexual and gay or lesbian identified. So in general, when we talk about love, I think what we have to start off is what Malik was talking about earlier, was self-love. And self-love means not, or trying your best, or, okay, so not to make it a yes or no kind of thing, to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself means so many different things that will lead to reducing your risk for becoming infected with HIV. So that's everything from eating healthy, taking care of yourself, mentally, physically, finding recreational things for you to get into, because it's all a snowball, right? So I'm bored, I'm going to be home on the computer, I'm going to be meeting people from Chicago or going on, what's my favorite site? What's the one people are all? Grindr. I'm going to be on Grindr trying to hook up, when I could use that time where I'm home to pick up a new skill, to, read a book, to cook a healthy meal for myself, maybe go jogging. So, I think in a sense that our society is getting so technologically advanced, so going back to the whole social media, which we could do a whole topic on, that we're losing some of those very basic skills that we had, like learning how to sew, so to speak, or, women would sew in the past or something. So I think it's all kind of a cycle that leads, starts with self-love and ends with self-love.
All right, three people.
I don't know. I think like
Yeah.
they do like that. No. Okay.
I do feel like a lot of HIV infections happen because people aren't educated about certain things of like how it's transmitted and stuff. I feel like, well, I wish honestly that, you know how like when you get into a car, not everyone does it, but a lot of people, they automatically put on a seatbelt or something like that. I wish when it came to sex, it was like required to put on a condom. Like it wasn't really a second thought, like should I even do this? Unfortunately, it's not like that because people say whatever, it feels better or whatever, or some people are into bareback or whatever. I wish it was more like you had to do it, just like, I don't know, the things that you have to do with other things, but it's not like that. So that's just kind of like a statement, but
Mandated.
yeah, I wish it was around longer so that like condoms were invented like earlier or something, so that it could just be like less chance. I don't know. Just stuff
But
like
even with seatbelts, people don't wear seatbelts and there's accidents and die. So, it's kind of like people have that risk, I'll take that risk. For what reason am I going to take that risk?
that. And a lot of
Go ahead.
No, that's fine.
Finish up.
I was gonna say a lot of people don't know about the disease, or like they're new to the community or whatever, so they just like come in not knowing that it's so big. Not just for gay people, but for people in general. And they just have sex. A lot of people get it the first time they have sex, so a lot of people
Aaron,
don't know about it.
I actually love this subject because I love talking about it because I had an uncle who's with it. Like my uncle is HIV positive. Oh, my uncle is HIV positive. And, he been in my he was like my father. Like I was close to my father, but he was like my father. And he used to talk to me about HIV and stuff when I was like 12. And when he died, I actually went crazy. Like people thought that was my father. And people who have HIV, I don't take it people are so stereotypical and so ignorant about it now, and I hate it because I never dated with somebody who had HIV before, but even if I did, I wouldn't dare oh, don't touch me, because that's just so ignorant to me. For me, if I ever date somebody with HIV, I have asthma and I treat it like that. I don't have HIV, but I'm just saying I have asthma at the same time. I could die from it, whatever, and I take my pill. That's how I treat it. And with people with HIV, I love them to death. For you to have guts to tell people that is a 2 thumbs up. And I would love to date somebody with HIV because I want to get schooled on it more. And like HIV is not a death sentence. It's not how it used to be. That's why I love talking about it because my best friend has it as well. She got it from her boyfriend. And like the way I talk to her about it, she thinks she don't have it. But the way I'm still kissing your lips. I'm still drinking off your cup. I don't care. Like you still here, right? You know. And like I think that the community needs to be more like that instead of being that girl got HIV. Like I just hate that. Like.
Is that for the record? For the record, you can't get HIV from drinking from
I'm just saying
anybody.
that's how
Just
other
in
people
case.
think. Yeah, that's how other people think. Like you touch it.
You can't get it.
That's one
Just
thing I
in
hate.
case anybody was thinking that. Good.
I just have to say one thing. I think the first thing, when he was saying, I just want to touch on that too. I think the first thing too about when it comes to me, I feel like when a lot of people, first thing they see HIV, they see sex. That's not the only way you can get HIV.
Right.
Like some people are born with it. Some people do drugs and they can get it. I feel like education is a big part. I think that's why I feel like the HIV rate is so high in the LGBTQ community. Not just in the LGBT in minorities, like in general. Because I feel like it's lack of education. You get what I'm saying? I feel like once you're educated, then you have that choice. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I feel like it's up to you to make that choice. You have to want to have your life. You gotta have to want to be here.
Education is definitely a big part. Go ahead, it's your
I
turn.
just want to everybody's making great points, but I feel, a lot of you guys are young in the room, and, the things I'm hearing is like, okay, I know I used to facilitate groups, dealing with HIV or whatever at Bronx State Services, and there were 3 or 4 kids in my group that passed away, got infected, got pneumonia, and died within months while taking the group. And it's like, I took it personal, but now I'm learning, you can't take it personal. Everybody has their thing. For me, I'm going to use an honest statement. For me, instance, I wasn't really big on condoms until these last couple of years. I've been in prevention for 5 years, but I just started, making it a habit because where I come from, we don't have a bunch of agencies where you can just get condoms or go to every store, you see a bucket of condoms. You got to buy them. If you're 14, 15, you don't got no money, you're not buying no condoms. And you're not even thinking to do that. Especially if you're sneaking around and, you're not thinking on those lines. So until I came back to New York when I was 18, I was like, oh, wow, you can get condoms everywhere. And yet and still, there's still people having raw sex. And you got to remember, New York, everybody comes here. Not everybody, has been around. There's people from Africa, there's people from southern states. They don't have the same, opportunities of education as we do. So that's why I feel like it's up to the LGBT community, not just to keep ourselves safe, but everybody in general. Because a lot of my straight friends, I bring them to programs and stuff, but there's not too many straight, guys or females that's going to go to programs like this. They're just not. They're not. And, realistically, some of us have sex with straight dudes, some of us have sex with girls. Realistically, just because you're in the LGBT community, that doesn't mean you're not branching out.
Yeah.
Everyone's branching out, and there's these guys that come out of jail and stuff, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many layers of it that it's not even talked about. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint, what to do, what to say. We just got to keep on constantly educating. I know it gets redundant after a while. Like a lot of the kids that brought state service, they're tired of hearing like, you're French, you're tired of this, tired of that. And it's understandable, and I feel like we need to find new ways to kind of, educate without sounding so repetitive because you're hearing it, but you're not
Taking it in.
you're not really taking it in. Like, we need to find what is it that means, to really, for me, it was working in the field of prevention and people close to me passing away. That's what really opened my eyes to it. And I still have my slip-ups every now and then, but generally I'm getting better. It takes practice. It's a lifestyle change. If you're not used to doing it, like, it's a complete lifestyle change, and until you're really ready, but you don't wait too long and then it's too late, It's kind of like catch-20 there.
I want to piggyback off of something
We have
you
a
said.
couple of questions.
I'm sorry, I just want to because this is around HIV. I was asked in an interview before if I could go back and back to time, would I use a condom with my lover? Like, do I wish I used a condom? And I said that's I do, but honestly, that's not the first thing I wish for because I feel like when you're in a straight world, like we talk, it's not always about wearing a condom. I wish that we were honest with each other. I wish that we continue to get tested before before the part about using a condom. Because I feel like if we were honest and open with each other and loyal to each other, then we wouldn't have to use a condom, and it's not so bad. We always using a condom now. We try to drive using a condom because we know that everybody's not honest. So that's why it's so important to use a condom, because you don't know what the other person has, and sometimes you don't know what you have because we don't get tested regularly. So that's why the condom is so important. But another thing is, if we learn how to be honest with each other and learn how to take care of ourselves, I don't think the point of using a condom will be so big. But it's that you run into people that's not honest with themselves or honest with others. So that's why you have to use condoms. It's not that everybody has it, but you have to look at it like everybody has HIV. Just because everyone's not honest, and then a lot of people don't even know they have HIV themselves. So.
Oh, that piggybacks to the next question. You just segued, so you already
I know,
answered
thank
it.
you.
You already answered the question. Why do you think that love brings up trust issues?
Because you don't know what love is. You see, I mean, you don't. I mean, for me, when I was growing up, what I thought love was, my mom was getting smacked around by her boyfriends, and I thought that was what love was. So when I started getting in relationships, I had to fight my lover. Because I'm like, that's what you do in relationships. When you love somebody, you know? I used to see my mom get beat up. So at one point in time when I was dating female figures, which is like drag queens, I used to beat them up because I'm like, that's how a man shows his love. I know it was wrong, but I'm like, I don't love you. Without love, without an argument, we're not really in love. So this, I think, because sometimes it's the way that you're raised and how you're brought up.
And you're surrounded.
I feel like there's so much going on in like not only this community but like everywhere. Like it's so many people that lie first before they even get into relationships. That it's like when the truth does come out, it's like you can't trust the person anymore. It's like you lied to me so much that I don't even know what's really going on anymore. Like, I know, like I have a lot of friends that they lie about their ages to get with guys. Like, and it's honest truth. A lot of it's girls do it, guys do it. I mean, like a lot of people do it. And it's like they'll be like, oh, they're 20 and they really be 15, but they look 20 something. So it's possible for them. And then when the person actually finds out, it's just like, I can't believe I really trusted you about that. And then it's just like, what else are you going to lie about? So it's just like a constant cycle. It's not just like, oh, it's just one lie and this and the third. It's like you expect them to keep lying. So it just takes the trust away from it.
Definitely. Why do you think love breeds insecurities and trust issues?
Well, first I will still
The
talk
million-dollar
about.
question.
Well, first I will talk about on that, and HIV related is there's a stigma, big stigma. Who contributes to the stigma more than anybody? Nothing against anybody, but to my understanding, my belief is the ones with HIV contribute to the stigma more than anybody else because we're afraid to discuss it. You understand what I'm saying? I understand why, but in order to teach somebody or help somebody out, you got to be willing to discuss it. And a lot of times we sit there and we say it's not a death sentence, but we keep on. I'm so secretive about it. I'm not trying to help you about it. Then I'm acting like there is a death sentence. You understand what I'm saying? Just talking to somebody recently and opened up to him, and out of nowhere told him I was HIV positive. The conversation was wonderful, it was beautiful. The minute I told him HIV positive, they act like their phone hung up, and then he started texting me, which is cool, because I'd rather tell you at the beginning and tell you that. However, it's easy for us to step back when we say, why do people lie about things so much? It's because what I got out of the conversations and waking up and wanting to talk to her and talking to her late at night, I missed that. You understand what I'm saying, though? And I could do two things. I could say, damn, what about if I never told her my status? You understand what I'm saying? Don't mean we would ever have sex, but she could have felt that void, that need. Do you understand what I'm saying? So sometimes when you're afraid to be rejected like that, then sometimes you do be dishonest. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course, it's courageous for a person to disclose their status, to tell somebody their status, but there's a lot of loneliness that comes after that. A lot of rejection. There's a lot of, you understand what I'm saying? And rejection and everything that comes in after that. And again, I admire Dominique for so much because there's a lot of things I'm new to. And a couple of times, like, I'll go to him and like, yo, this and here, like, yo, you can expect it. Like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to sit here and tell nobody this. You understand what I'm saying? So, with relationships and far as with trust issues and this and that, it's like, I deal with transsexuals. Um, I know if I deal with transsexual, there's at times, and not judging them, but they'll ask all these questions, and it just amazes me that a person once in a while is living a perfect life. You already know where I'm going at, but you're not living a perfect life. You're judging me of my past. You're judging me of my past, but your past is like, you know what I'm saying? No, and I'm not to judge a thing, but I'm like kind of confused. I'm saying like, they'll ask me because I just went through this. I felt like I got interviewed 3 times yesterday. No lie. Do you mess with bush crews? Do you this or this and that? And say if I say yeah, they'll judge me. I'm like, you was a bush crew, one you dealt with. You understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Not all of them. Some of them were ladies.
No. But what I'm saying is that it causes sometimes is I was in a relationship, and at the beginning of the relationship, she told me somebody she used to mess with. I was like, I don't want to hear that because I don't need to know that. But you know what that causes? When you deal with somebody, y'all start judging each other, you start holding back, and now you're not sharing stuff. And now the things that I'm not sharing with you, I just didn't tell you, but it comes off as a lie. You understand what I'm saying, though? And when you're in a relationship and y'all start judging each other for certain things or this and that, now you put your guards up, and I ain't telling them until they ask. Or if they do ask, I'll manipulate it because now I'm being judged.
Because what they told. I'm sorry.
What you mean?
So they're just basically looking at you of what they're told. Okay, so they're judging you of what's told to them instead of just asking you up front in person. But go ahead. No, I'm just really I'm going off in my head while you talking. But go ahead.
All right, so we're coming towards the end. Time is going down, so I kind of really want to open it up. You guys have any last ending comments? I'm going to start with the panelists, and then I'm going to go with you guys and girls on what, you know what I'm saying? I think I want to hear from other people that haven't talked. There's a lot of people in this room that have not spoken, and I want to hear just maybe one thing. What does love mean to you? You know, and kind of like chime in, and we'll go around. But I'm gonna start with the
won't
panelists.
admit
Jose
you
and
love
you wanna
me.
share with our audience?
And so how am I ever to know